everyone. It is Friday. It is CBDC Showcase Day. I know a lot of you have been looking forward to this, as I have been as well. Going to be a long one, so buckle up and hopefully you guys enjoy the show. Um, just a few reminders before we get started, give people time to get in. In fact, let me do my tweet real quick. Signal the call there. That is done. Morning, Z. And I think there's a few others in chat already. Tiki and Lay. So welcome to you guys and anyone else that getting ready to join us. I'm sure there's a few. I do know Maddie will not be here, but there are a few that are aware of what was used on that particular project, so they'll be able to kind of help us along if I get stuck. But anyway, first a couple of, well, reminder kind of things. There is the Battle Chase event going on. It is an opportunity to grab some new sky remodels, some NPC decor, and some faction-specific stuff like tanks and barriers and bunker houses and such like that. But also as well some interactable decor. I actually came across a plot yesterday that had some of it on there, and it was pretty neat to see like the caution gate actually moving. And I didn't see the Exiles version of the weapons crate, but I saw the Dominion one, and I just figured it was like a flip top kind of lid, but it's actually like almost does like the stone Taurine door, where it kind of has four parts and it just kind of splits apart, and it's on this hop that opens up. So that was pretty fun to see. Yeah, I think it'd be great if they add more and more of those type of decor. I think a lot of people can find some fun and interesting ways to incorporate them into their builds. I've gotten a hold of a few of them myself, but I just haven't decided where to put them. So until then, we'll be waiting. Good morning, Poi, our lovely mod for the chat. She had a little bit of a stumble yesterday, but hopefully everything will be in order today. And really, hopefully there's no need for your assistance, but it's always nice to have someone backing me up here on the channel. Okay, as you know, or as some of you may not know, we do a monthly custom built decor challenge, CBDC. If you hear us say CBDC, that's what that's about. It's a custom built decor challenge. We do this every month. Basically, we at the start of the month, I issue a theme, and then anyone that wants to participate has the rest of the month to build something in accordance to that theme, whether there's special rules or it's just a general something about, you know, XXX. Then at the end of the month, we do a showcase stream like today, showcasing everyone's creations based on that month's theme. For example, last month's theme was food, and we had a bunch of entries including pancakes and cotton candy and sushi and fondue kits and just all sorts of stuff, just amazing stuff. And there's no competition. It's just a challenge. It's a voluntary thing. You're not required to participate. It's, you know, if the theme hits you as something interesting and you'd like to give it a try, you're more than welcome. It's open to both regions, both factions. I have access to all of them, so I can come and check them out. But there's, like I said, it's not a competition, so there's no prizes, no judging, no point system or anything like that. This is just a purely for fun activity, something I just wanted to bring in extra. It's something I used to do strictly for my guild, but as things have kind of gone a little bit more quiet on that front, I decided to open it up to the public, basically. So yeah, the cakes were pretty delicious looking. Lots of wedding cakes and birthday cakes and cookies. Well, it was just all sorts of stuff. It was yummy stuff last month. Um, so again, it's just for fun, just to test your metal as a builder, I guess, to see if you can, maybe we have, well, like the food, maybe not everybody had tried making a food item out of decor, and this was their opportunity to give it a try. Just kind of a little extra incentive to go out of your comfort zone sometimes, or just to try new things. I usually stress that we're looking for newly built things, things that are expressly constructed for the CBDC. Though I do know that sometimes a theme that we pick, people have already addressed it or created something that fits along that theme. You're welcome to share those as well. Happy to showcase them too. But like I said, I'm stressing that we're wanting some new things. So if you've, like, for example, if you'd already built some foods like I did, try a different kind of food, that kind of thing. But anyway, just a reminder for those that participated in this month's CBDC. We are going to showcase your plots or your builds today, not the entire plots necessarily, but the little project. I have said that once the challenge is done, that you're free to do with it whatever you want. You can delete it, move it to someplace else, leave it, up to you. You can totally break it down and change the whole look of it if you want. It's yours to do with what you will. The only thing I would ask is that maybe for at least a week, leave it up as it is, that you've made it, and leave it open to the public so that those that maybe catch this video and are interested in seeing it up close, they have the opportunity to come by and check it out. If you want to add some things after the show, that's fine, but don't get rid of it right away. I would be appreciative of that, and I'm sure any potential visitors to your plot would also be appreciative of that. There will be a listing of all the names in the description of the videos, so that folks can find you guys' projects and get to check them out up close. I would say that, well, let's describe what the challenge was. The challenge was this month, modular embellishment, and what that basically was is I made a prefab little mini house. We used to call it the pill house because it was kind of shaped oblong and looked like a pill. It started out as just a amusement for myself, but others suggested maybe it would make a good challenge, and so that's how that came about. It consists of about, I think it was 240 or 245 pieces altogether, and I asked participants to consider it one piece, meaning they can't remove any of the pieces that came with the initial empty house. They had to leave all of that intact. They were welcome to add things, cover up things if they wanted, but not to actually remove, because I wanted everybody to kind of stay on the same playing field, level, so no holes in the top or the bottom or the sides or things like that. They also were given a kind of a guideline of how many items they were allowed to use to decorate the piece. And that was at 1,700. And the way we come about that number is I decorated a house myself. Actually, I did 2 of them. And then I checked to see how many items I had actually used to decorate it, and I rounded it up, and that was the cap. It was not a steadfast rule. There's no way for me to actually check it unless I got remitted to everybody's and actually counted all the pieces or something. But just kind of going on an honor code kind of thing, that they stuck within that limit. It wasn't a must, but I think a lot of them really adamantly try to stick to that. So other than that, they were told basically just to go hog wild with it. I knew some of them might want to elevate it, or I actually expected some to maybe turn it on its side or something, or maybe upside down. I don't know what they were planning to do with it. And a lot of these I haven't seen yet, so it'll be a surprise for me as much as you. Excuse me. But other than that, I kind of pretty much give them free rein. They weren't given specific decor that they couldn't use. I did give them an option of 4 different styles of the house, and by styles I mean just the kind of like the coloring. We had a Draken version, an Exiles version, an Orin version, and a Cassian version. And interestingly enough, Exiles version won out by far. It was like 9-5. The other 5 were orange. So those were the 2 picks, and Exiles won out. I don't know if it's just because it's a wooden one, and I think a lot of them thought of these little houses as like little cabins, and the wood just played better to that. I think I was the only one that picked Draken as one of the options, and nobody picked Cassian. So, I don't know if that means anything, but I thought it was interesting to know. Okay, so we are on NA side at the moment. We had 3 modular houses submitted for NA side, and all of them happen to be on Exile, so that's where we're starting. Our first one is actually from one of our own devs. Bardic decided to participate in this particular challenge, and this is her version. And hopefully you guys are amused by her approach. It reminds me of like white trailer trash, where you've got the tires burning in the yard, and it just looks like a very homely type of build. You can see Bardic chose the Orin version. It's the Orin materials. And let's just have a look at what is all here. As many of our builders have chosen, they have actually just kind of dedicated a full plot to the build. So this one's kind of like just an open area, and there's a bit of a pond in the back, which I think she set up as a fishing dock out here. It's like you come get a fishing pole, catch a few fish, fry it up, eat it in your little trailer out here. You see your fishing rod is the pointy Draken spear. Let me slow her down a bit. I'm not like rushing through things. This is a view from the back. Again, you can see she decided to put hers up on wheels. So basically just added some tires, some little rounded covers, which is the curved walls, and a little bit of junk here and there, a little bit of growth on there. Haven't cleaned the roof in a while. I like the clothesline. It's just a regular one, and then just 2 posts. The porch is pretty simple. It's just one of those lantern posts, an awning, and some decking pieces for that. Notice the door doesn't even match the size, and that kind of fits. This is kind of like from my neck of the woods where I used to live. A lot of us, something breaks, I'll just fix it with a little chicken wire, duct tape, it'll be good, that kind of thing. That's what this reminds me of, kind of my kinfolk. This is this right here. We have a nice little kitchen area. She chose to make her cabinet and the little extended table that I would assume pushes in and out to make it a little bit more compact when on the move. Out of the medical tables. Remember, if you're going to use these sterile medical tables, there's actually 2 on the housing vendor. One costs 10 silver, the other one costs 50 silver, so make sure you get the cheap one. They're exactly the same. It's the same item. It's just listed twice at different prices for whatever reason. So make sure you pick the cheaper one if you're going to use it for building. But you can see she's used the tall Chua bookcase as her refrigerator, and just laid in some glass over top of that, using the hanging drooping wire things. It's not just the hanging wire. I think it has a different name, but like the group of wires as the handles. This is probably a little better idea than using just the simple, the like single strand of hanging wire, because that one, when you make it small, it kind of disappears, and it's harder to see. But then just left it with glass. It's already got shelves, so that makes it easier. Here we have the sink. It's basically just, well, you can kind of see what it is. It's just a big dome that's inset in there. Got the little propane tank going on. This is the actual bathroom sink, just inset. For the stove top and the oven here, she's just used a panel of glass to represent the oven with another one of those wires for the handles on that. For the knobs for the stove, I think those are the bottoms of this bowl, this little bit here that you'll see. I think that's what that is. And then this, the burners themselves are the same bowls, just inset, and you just see the very tops. And she's just used several of them to make that little burner look. Of course, the windows are basically just windows. She went ahead and took the time to kind of cover up the gaps that would be there due to the curved wall. A lot of folks that took on this challenge, I think, found it frustrating, even if challenging, to kind of work with these curved walls and the thin walls. But you can see she not only did them on the outside, it's just replicated on the inside as well. It might even be just that the windows are thick enough, but I suspect it's 2 windows for each one on the inside and one on the out. But it's nice to have that, what do you call it, continuity between the interior and the exterior. It's less usual for like a prefab home, like the ones like the Cassian Spacious and such, and then trying to match it on the outside. That's a little tougher because I think people get a little disoriented and maybe the interior doesn't quite match what they would envision by looking at the exterior, so they don't necessarily match those. But when it's a structure like this, I think it's important to kind of follow through on that. You can see that you do see the little tire covers, and she made sure to include those and just use them in, using it as like a shelf. For this seating, it's just the bench, and of course, have to have her little TV set up using a magnetic container as like the player, and having it actually hooked up with the wire to the monitor there. For those of you wondering about this poster, that's an actual poster that's obviously in-game. It's not something she snuck in there because she's a dev, but because it's actually available on the Cash Shop as one of, I think it's from the Granox set, like a bundle. You get a variety of decor, and that's one of them included. I think that's the only way you can get that particular poster, as far as I'm aware anyway. And in here is the bedroom, and I like the idea of using the medical cots and just popping a pillow on one end and calling it like a little, it's like a bunk bed without the bunk part. The little cabinets here, those are just the wooden crates. Hey Bones, good morning. Glad you could join us. Just for the top ones. Then for the bottom, she's gotten a little bit fancier with exile walls. Again, those handles. And for like a little vent, well, the red moon vent right there, but 2x4s to kind of make it all look nice and neat. So it's a little cubby storage for each side of the room. I like her storage here. It's just a cardboard box with some junk thrown in it. It's a very, it's a certain style. I think some are probably, we may see more of this, kind of like a junky type of approach. It's not necessarily that there's sort of garbage everywhere. It just looks very homely, and you can imagine them just hooking it up on the hitch back of their truck or something and taking off with it, moving off to another zone. And that would be an interesting way of, this would be, rather than changing the house to match the seasons and stuff, you know, decorating it for holidays and stuff, they could just pretend that they've, you know, picked up route and traveled to a different zone and just change the landscape regularly and leave the houses the same every time. That would be kind of funny. Ah, oh, okay. I was pretty sure it was the Granite Decor Pack, but I wasn't for positive. But yeah, I do remember her mentioning that because someone asked. Okay, so that is Bardic's plot um, for her CBDC project. On to the next one. That would be Zodi's, which is Doxy Ash Leaf. And again, you can see that Zodi has chosen to just kind of go all out with the plot to kind of give this little home a place of its own. So we're kind of in a, it's called Doxy Hollow, but I don't know if it's meant to be like a swampy bit. I suspect so. We've got some gators over here, and you know, everything's on stilts. It reminds me of like Louisiana, like bayou kind of stuff. Just out in the swampy areas, there's a lot of moss coming off the trees, and everything looks well watered and stuff. If you're wondering about the water itself, I'm pretty sure that's an upside down exotic silver chalice. Um, Someone discovered that it behaves in a way that you can actually kind of look as though you're submerged in the water, and that's because the collision for that particular piece isn't exactly on the bottom of the chalice itself. It's a little inset into the bottom. So if you make it large enough, the depth of the water becomes more and more. So you can make it pretty realistic looking as if you're in it. Now you'll notice that if you move your camera even with the water, it disappears. It's the same way with like the other types of water decor that we have, so that's not a game breaker or anything. It's just an unusual piece. Most people wouldn't think about using it, but once it was discovered, a lot of people have switched to using this rather than the winding rivers and stuff, because with the rivers and the waterfalls you have all of the noise, you have a lot of heavy animation, and this is much more calm, just a very pretty water. It's clear so you can see everything that's underneath it, and it just has a better illusion to a still pond or still lake, that kind of thing. So this is perfect for that. Yeah, banjo. Well, as long as it's not Deliverance, that'd be okay. Putting on the bubble wrap now. Yeah, I think we've passed the danger. Little, what is it, the gar, the plushy gar? I'm surprised she didn't use the corpses. Those would have maybe a little bit scarier. Uh, anyway, moving on. You can see we have he's built it pretty high up on stilts. There's just a whole, like, it's almost like a bridge system underneath all of the I don't know what you call those, balustrades or just pylons or something. There's a little area here, and I like how she's just added the little pillows in the nook of that tree, but she very well could have added some picnic tables out here, some benches for seating, maybe, you know, have somebody set up for fishing or something. But it's still pretty nice. I like a lot of the moss hanging off. It's a richer color than the overgrowth. The overgrowth is pretty bright. Excuse me. So up on the stilts is not just the house itself, which again is Exiles. Um, we've got the little eating area, the sunning area, and then the little swing set over here. So this little area is where they come out, grill them some shrimps on the Barbie, get a little bit of sun. I like how it's perfectly matched where the sun is actually coming in. These are the summer decor items, not only the Barbie itself, but also the towels, both flat and rolled, and then the umbrella. For those that haven't seen it before, this is an example of some of the pieces that you get with it. Hey Aurora, glad you could join us. Just the one, just the one. You can always catch it on the back part later. I never tried to play. I'm not very musically inclined, Bones. I think if I tried, you know, birds would start dropping out of the sky and stuff like that. We'd have the neighborhood dogs howling. For the little picnic set, basically it's just the um orange tree tables, some shrunk down to behave as stools, and then a bigger one for the table. I like the little trimming here. Just adds a little decoration, kind of covers up that bit of the beneath, and probably allows her to hide some things that might normally poke through. Just kind of disguises that, which is a good way to get around it if you're having trouble finding items that you don't want poking through the wall. So she's just lined up a bunch of cylinders with some um, the same thing she used for the like the bushes and trees out here. It's the bramble bush stuff. Over here on this side we have the swing set for the porch area. Very cute little design. Just metal edge 2x4s mostly. Some of the the metal edge blocks, the cube things for part of the arm work. Hanging chains, and then a couple of pillows to make it look nice and comfy. Very inviting. And then she did the same treatment here. Now we can see at the back a little bit better view of the underworkings there. And now you'll see all of the prefab homes came with a single pane of glass, and she's chosen to add extras to give it a design. So we've got some diamond patterns here, and notice it has different shades, and that's just an effect of layering the glass. The more it gets layered, the whiter it becomes. So if you only layer parts of the glass, you get these nice little intricate patterns depending on how many pieces you use. It's just really a nice way of just decorating the glass. It not only helps show that yes, there is glass there, because with the single pane it's almost not noticeable. But adding these little frameworks and bits really helps decorate it up. Notice the little flower beds here, the little flower trays outside the window. Those are just several 2x4s layered up to make it a little thick. Sandbags for the dirt, and then just lots of little yellow flowers all lined up. She's done that on both sides. This is Zodi's plot, Aurora. I will mention too that all of the prefab homes came with no door. There was just a doorway, but they came with no doors, no porches, no nothing. It was just basically a shell of a home, and I left the door treatment up to the participants. So Zodi's chosen to use a kind of a sliding door. So she's got it partially, it's just a little bit sticking out to kind of indicate that it, closes, like you just like slide it shut. This one's a little bit more tucked into the wall. Ooh, excuse me. But for the handles, it looks to be a cylinder and then two bottles just stuck in for the handles. And then for the doors itself, it's a couple of staircase landings stuck together. Very nice, effective. Notice it does well because of the thickness of the boards that are on either side. It fits in nice and snugly. Okay, so let's tackle, I guess it would be bedroom first. Bedroom, we have a lovely little clothing closet. She's constructed it out using the curve of the house itself to set up a little, not quite a walk-in closet, but one that's got some shelving storage above and below if she wanted, and then some actual hanging clothes using the drapes, the white drapes, as the clothes that's lined up. So whoever this is, they have the same outfit over and over. Reminds me of like Homer closet. He's got all the blue pants and all the white shirts. For the rack itself, it looks like she's using 2 pillars, and then I want to say just another individual. Hard to get a good angle. Individual pillars for each drape. So it's just the drape arm. It already comes with that wooden piece, and then she's just attached it there. Just a simple but effective way of indicating that that's a closet. Again, the entire interior, which when we go to my plot in a bit, I'll show you an empty one. Well, no, I think I removed them both. Anyway, it's basically there was no interior wall separations. So these are actually added by Zodi. So she's used 2x4s to just bring those in to separate off different room spaces. For this little bit here, it's like a little reading nook. So it's got a little bit of a seat here, basically just some purple pillows, the round one and the long roll one, and several shelves made out of 2x4s for the books. For the bed, she's chosen to use, again, 2x4s. It's a favorite builder block for most of the framework and the headboard. She's got, it looks like this ice rock blocks, the snow squares, the cubes, as the bottom mattress part or the fitted sheet section. On top of that, for the blanket, is several sleeping bags. And then those new summer decor towel rolls for an additional little pillow bit. For the side tables of the bed, those are just upside down fireworks crate. If you had the opportunity during Starfall to complete some of the, well, one of the achievements, you unlock those firework decor permanently. So if you missed out, hopefully they bring that back next year. And of course, it looks like instead of using just the sconces, like this orange sconce here, she's actually used one of the light poles. It's actually hidden inside the wall to act as little hanging sconces. Just a different little touch, and they give some pretty good light, as you can see. That's really cute. For the living room, we have this little cozy double couch seating thing. Again, using the towels from the summer decor pack. This time a combination of the folded towels and the rounded rolled up towels. The rounded ones for the armrests and the folded ones for the cushions on the back and the bottom and the footstool thing. It looks like this is meant to be like it's a pull-out, so maybe it comes in and out. Tuck it in. I like the little remote control. Trying to see what that might be. It looks like it's really hard to see since it's so tiny. Can't quite tell what those are. I think those are detonators all lined up on a kind of looks like another detonator piece with the gear lamps just sunk down so you don't see the blue light here. And maybe I don't know what that is. It's really hard to tell because it's so tiny. But that's a really cute, just an additional, you know, sometimes you have to pick, especially if you have a limit of decor, which in this case they had 1700, but sometimes you have to pick and choose what details you want to show, and something like that, while there's no extra pillows, no lamp coming over the top back here, no little table for drinks and stuff, you really don't have to have all of that. Just something like this kind of helps tie this all together. So you have the TV, the cabinet, the really nice little entertainment cabinet. Notice she didn't put a bunch of stuff on the shelves in here, but you could. You could put trophies, flower pots, DVD collection, who knows what. This is one of those exile screens that you can actually interact with. Of course, it's not letting me do it. It says I'm not in line of sight for some reason. The cabinet itself is made out of travel posters. It's a really sleek metal looking material. It's one of my favorites. And you can see that that's what she used for all of the shelving, the walls, even the doors. And it looks like hammers for the handles. I take it the suitcase is behaving as the CD player, that kind of thing. Notice for the bathroom area, she's actually used the same setup for the doors that she used on the front, doing the same here. That's another good trick when you are doing like window treatments, door treatments, handles for certain kinds of cabinetry. Repeat that through your build. That helps tie it all in together rather than using different door settings for every time you do a door. Unless you're specifically just testing out different methods and just want to show off the different ways you can make a door. But it's good to tie that in together. Yeah, on my second one, I didn't use doors either, Aurora, so it's no biggie. You know, some folks found a way. I mean, see, she added doors, but she paid by not adding little knickknacks here or maybe more pillows here. That's, again, it's a compromise. You decide what you most want to show or what you feel brings more to the build than something else and make a decision. And that was, again, part of the challenge. Same with dealing with the thin walls and stuff. I know a lot of people fussed about that, which was amusing in a kind of evil way, I guess. But okay, so the bathroom. We have custom toilet and sink. Basically, these are those metal bowls. It's an upright one for the sink basin itself, and then it's just sandwiched ones together to make the base of it. It looks like a Chua copper sipper cup thingy. It's got one of those little spouts on it. That's what that looks like. I'm not sure if that's what it is, but that's what it looks like. For the toilet, it's an upside down medium bottle. You can kind of see the topper for that right here, but it's just upside down. I like using them for the bases of lamps and things. You'll see that later. They've got a nice color, kind of shiny, but they make great toilet tanks. The toilet, of course, matches similar to this, and then for the lid of the toilet itself, it's just an upside down medical kit, I believe. For the shower, I love this. Notice they're matching the little bit here to kind of match the rest of the furnishings in the bathroom for the shower head, nozzle, whatever you want to call it. I think this is, I want to say it's a chimney part. It could be an engine, something like that, using a chain to pull. So you pull the chain and the water comes out. Notice she encased this in Oran walls, so that kind of separates it off from the rest. And then we have this lovely little shower curtain that she's made out of those firework decor. I don't remember which one specifically it is, but it's a really cute idea, just making it look like a curtain. I can imagine somebody using that as a stage curtain, that kind of thing. A curtain for window treatments would be really easy to do. Just shorten it up. That would work. Hey, Bucky. Glad you could join us. For the little place where you'd put your shampoos, soaps, and things like that, she's just used one of the empty fireworks crates. Notice though that it does peek out the other side. This could be turned into a coat rack. You just add some little hooks or something to that, make it a coat rack. You could turn it into a framed picture by adding a poster in it or making your own. It could be add a little 2x4 out here that could turn into a shelf. That kind of thing. Maybe add some buttons and it's a controller for the air conditioning or something. There's lots of things you could do with that to kind of give it a purpose if you want. Then we come to the kitchen. Always one of my favorite parts. We've got the dining table here. It's basically the same tables that's on the outside, the Oran tree tables. They're also being used in here. They're just upside down, so all you see are the roots. Two of them are being used for the stools. It's just topped with a cushion. And then the other one is being used for the base of the table. Very simple, just a couple of panes of glass and pop, you know, there you are. The towels, as with the couch and the towels outside where they're actually being used as towels, these are being used as placemats. Then you have the nice little setup here. These are also from the summer decor pack, the little drinks with the wedges of fruit. Hey Rudy, welcome back. Glad we didn't scare you off yesterday. Oh gosh. That was pretty funny though. I'm sure it was embarrassing for Poi, but I'm glad you made it back, that we didn't ruin things for you forever. Okay, over here we have a little bit of a cabinet space for their herb garden that they would use for cooking or recreational activities, who knows what. I like how they've got the Chua cups as planters, and two of them they've left empty, but the middle one they've got it filled with a bit of dirt, and they've actually planted some flowers in it. I can't quite see what they might be using for the dirt. I think it's an upside down tan sack. Got to level 10 in 2 hours. Wow, that's pretty good. It's real easy if you're enjoying yourself to get kind of lost. You don't pay attention to the clock, and it's really easy to kind of lose track of time. So that's a good thing. Well, I'm glad you have that attitude. That's helpful. But hope you join us more and more. It's always great to see faces that we recognize and come. You know, we like seeing new people, but we like to see them stick around even more. So over here you have some nice shelving. This could be where you put additional knickknacks, books, bottles, dishes for your kitchen and stuff. Whatever you want to do, but it's a nice little, again, it's playing with the curve of that wall. You can see though that she's blocked this in too, made it into like maybe it's the cold storage, the refrigerator, or it's a pantry type of thing inside here, and that just kind of flattened it out. It makes it a little easier to work with, but I like how this just follows the curve of the wall there. There is a little bit of thickness on this particular end, a little bit more than you get on the 2x4 bits, so that it helps folks kind of put things in where they might not otherwise, but it was difficult for many to work with those curves. I know because I had to do it myself, but and this little cabinet here was just 2x4s. For the faux door for the fridge or the cool pantry or the regular pantry, I don't know what it is. It looks to be a giant travel poster, the back of it, and then another one being used as a divider line between the two doors. outlined in two pillars, same for the handles, and then a detonator to make it look like it's, you know, maybe got some controls, maybe it's an ice maker, whatever. Yeah, those silly walls, Tiki. Uh, I have to tell you, it was amusing to listen to everyone fussing about those because I was like, yeah, this is going to be a challenge for some because you just kind of forget how convenient it is to be able to sync stuff into things and hide most of what you don't want seen. And when you have that kind of taken away from you or severely reduced, it's like, ugh, so frustrating because there's so many other things you could use for something, but you can't because it'll poke through and look like an eyesore. But glad you could join us, Cheeky. Okay, so for the little kitchen here, the kitchenette, whatever you want to call it, there's a lot of different items going on here. We have, I think it's I think it's the open crate, the one that has like the little symbol on the side. At least it looks like that to me. Got like a little circle with a little slash mark, and it's got an open lid. There might actually be a closed one, but I don't think so. I think either it comes open with nothing in it, or it has like bombs and explosives hanging around it. But I think that's what she used for most of the cabinetry. It's just like a big one and then little ones inserted to make it look like little doors. Same way here, looks like giant crates. Whoops. And then little ones inserted to make them look like little panels, door panels. Notice she didn't put handles on them. You know, she might have run out of space or just didn't get to it. Something along those lines. The top of the countertops, I believe, is Oran floors. For the sink, that's mostly, well, it looks like a kitchen sink for the dripping faucet, and then she's just covered up the rest of it with travel posters. And using, again, that same little vent thingy. I don't know if that's, might be the microphone. I think the microphone has a look like that. It could be something new from Arctera, because it has a little bit of a frosty look as well. I don't know what that is, but she's using it for the drain, same as she used for the shower head in there. You work those walls as a champion. Oh gosh. For the, let's see, for the little dry rack here, it looks like, I'm not really sure what that is. I wanted to say it was the bottoms of the plates, but it's a little squared off, so I don't know what she's done. Either she's just layered them up so well that it just turns out into a rectangle shape. Notice the pie. It's one of my favorites, similar to the pumpkin pie that I have on my plots. It's just the regular little bowl with the green interior. Several of them layered and twisted so that you get this fluted edging, and then a pumpkin set inside with a dollop of whipped topping, courtesy of I think it's the snow clump. The stove is layered glass. Looks like for the little handle, she's using a couple of the new spades, like a little long-handled shovel. And she's got it turned so that it's, if you look at it one way, the spade actually looks like a shovel end. And if you look at the other way, it looks more like a pitchfork. And she's got it turned so it looks more like the pitchfork. And I think this is either, yeah, I think the framework and the little grid pattern you see underneath the glass, that's the graded floor panel that we get. Is that Risey? Okay. bottom of the Soul Frost container. Okay, I thought this one was because I could kind of see a little bit of frost stuff here, like it's a little icy, and that's what kind of made me suspect it might be an Arctera item. I'm going to have to pick me up a couple of those because I can think of some things I could do with that. For the stovetop itself, I think these are the bottoms of tanks, different tanks, just inset into each other. It also could be bowls, the edges of bowls. It's one or the other. There's various combinations of those to make that. The knobs are Chua cups, the bottom of Chua cups, and it's hard to see what this one is here in the middle, but I suspect it's one of the bottle bottoms. For the egg, I think, I'm trying to remember what she said she used for the egg yolk. I really can't remember. It's shiny, so it's not the, I don't think it's the orange window. I want to say it's the top of one of the wine bottles, but I'm not positive on that. And then another snow clump for the egg white there. Notice the little vent actually has a little fan. That's the Marauder fan, a relatively new item. A hollow dome and tubing for the vent for the stove. And then of course she added a little burger sandwich using, it looks like dynamite sticks for the meat, cheese for cheese. Looks like she might have tried to cover up a taco because I see a little bit of lettuce there as well. And then for the bread, it appears to be the, what's that thing called? The barnacle weed. Both of them are upside down, and it's just kind of layered up to make it look like some dark bread. A little bit better than using the unburnt toast, but you can use that too. I think the reason a lot of folks don't like using it is, one, everybody uses it, and two, it is pretty thick and looks like Texas toast to me. And folks just like finding different things to use, so it's interesting. For me, that item usually looks like chocolate, but in this particular lighting, it does. It looks like a nice little toasted bun kind of thing. So very fun. So interesting stuff. I'm loving this because it's basically taken the same item, given it to everybody, and seeing the drastically different outcomes that they've come up with. So we've seen two so far, totally different in approaches. So should be interesting to see what the next ones are. Yes, that's true, Aurora. We had some practice with the foods, so everybody has no excuse. If they have a restaurant, they better have some darn good-looking foods on those plates and stuff. Okay, the last one for NA side is, let me get this spelt right before I say it. Briella Hurley's plot, aka Rabbit. This is one I'm more familiar with them from the forums, the official forums. But again, you can see they're just taking it above and beyond what I expected. People are just building these full-on plots just specially for these little houses. If you're wondering about this entrance here, I believe that's the little Pumera cave that you can get. It's got that curved little hole, and they've just covered it up with lots of rocks using probably looks like snowy hills for all of this. You can see the white puffs of snow coming up from this green grass to get this rising landscape here. I believe also they do have a few of the Protostar Insta Hills as well. So a combination of the two. So here we come upon this little enclosure. Now you got this, like, it's like a little canyon kind of thing going on. The way you do that, Rudy, is you find specific items. There's a few that have no collision at all, and others that you can kind of fudge a little bit by oversizing them and then placing them perfectly so that it kind of bypasses the barrier that's there. If you hunt around in the housing subforum, in the official forums, you'll find a thread that's dedicated to discussions of what items work, what items don't. Some of them actually share some of like the KBT set code so that you can just copy paste it in and have it set. But we've had people find some of the hover part pieces that work, stones. I think the beer taps is another one. I've gotten some of the lamp posts to work specifically for my mains plot. She's using an upside down Shades Eve lamp, I think, for hers. It's just a lot of experimentation, and I think eventually someone is going to compose a complete list of what's usable on, because I know a lot of the grasses and things, those have no collision at all, and you can just place them directly without, within the barrier, no problem. But others, you kind of have to fudge it a little bit by oversizing it really big. You can see how this is the snowy hill upside down, and you can see how big they had to make it to get it to come over that. It's pretty large. I think some have had to go up as big as 12, that kind of thing. All right, Bones, we'll see you in a bit. Yep, I know there's like lots of the grasses, few of the plants. It really depends on what the plant is, because a lot of things, generally speaking, most have some sort of collision. So you have to kind of be mindful of that. Anyway, so here we have this little build. She's got these little fenced off areas, these little overlooks set up with cushions and stuff that people can enjoy the view. And it's just a really cute little space that she's created for her modular house. I love the fencing here. It's just 2x4s. It's in a unique little pattern. Like I said, we have lots of standalone items. Fences, doors, cabinets, utensils, everything. But folks get bored with using the same pieces unless Carbine's releasing like dozens and dozens of new props for people to play around with. They get bored with using the same ones, so it's fun to splurge and come up with your own. And this is a good example of a nice little homemade fence. Notice the little stones here leading up to the doorway. Over here you have a little bit of a porch extension. Again, all 2x4s here along the railing and the little platform here, decorated with Merg dynamite for just a little bit of fancier look. Same way with these little bits. It reminds me of the orange stuff. Got those little fancy fluted, I don't know what they're called, banisters or something. So again, we have this basic house. It's a little pill-shaped house. Again, exiles. And this is how Rabbit decided to decorate it up. There's a little bit of plants and things. Again, folks have really taken to the moss. Notice it is kind of windy here. Some items that are affected by the wind behave a little strangely. They get a little overly windy. For those that have the balloons, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. They just kind of almost go vertical. You just kind of have to deal with that. Either push it out a little bit more so it doesn't go inside the window, or just accept that every now and then it's going to pierce the wall there. The doors, again, they were given, everybody was given the privilege to, or the, not privilege, but it sounds kind of silly, but the option of adding some type of door things. I mean, you could opt to leave it open if you wanted, but I think most of them have added doors. Again, this one went with the staircase landings for the doors, but instead of having them slide open, these actually are, you know, the traditional door types. One is partially open, one is all the way open. Notice the handles. It's a couple of travel posters with a cornerstone piece of the ice rock block decors to give it that little, it brings it to your attention because it has some good contrast between the dark of the wood and just a little something different. Little flip handles. For the rug, I think that's the bottom of, I want to say it's one of the gravestone things, the spiky one. I think it's the bottom of that. It's hard to tell in the lighting. It's very dark and rainy, so that's another thing. For those of you that are just starting out in housing, be aware if you do a custom house, there's no way to block any kind of weather effects from coming inside the house. It doesn't recognize it as a solid structure, so it just rains right on through. But if you're wanting to go for a specific mood, you just kind of have to ignore that it's actually raining inside the house, as it is right now. It looks a little weird, but you know, there's just no going around that. I don't know if there's a possible way of them fixing it so that we can control that better. If you don't want any weather effects, then don't use a sky that has weather effects to it. That includes any of like the dusty ones, the rain, the snow falling, that kind of thing. You just have to, it's one of those compromises you make when you do a custom house. So let's first go to the bedroom. Now, I don't know if it's because she ran out of space, wanted to keep to the limits, but this one's sparsely furnished, but I love the bed. So that I think makes up for it. I would note the window treatments. I think they went with just leaving the single pane of glass that was already there and just added a crossing of 2x4s to kind of highlight that there is a window, some framework to it. For the bed itself, very well lit, obviously, because of all the sconces used. It's a combination of lots of purple pillows of varying types. There's the star one, the round one, the long rolled pillow. There's colorful Oran windows being used for some of the framework here, the steps here. These bits are I believe it's the bug windows. And I want to say, yeah, it looks like all bug windows. It's not the leaf one. The leaf one doesn't come with these little sticks poking out, but the bug one does. And I want to say that one comes from a Reputation vendor, but I'm not positive. But it looks super comfy, very well lit, and it's been accented with the Merg dynamite, so it kind of ties in again with some of the architecture outside. It's been brought inside to kind of make it all together, so it's clear that whoever built it built the same, you know, they followed through with their idea on that. Again, remember, none of the interior has any walls when it comes to them. They've added this. So they just stuck with the 2x4s, made this little doorway bit. Yeah, I think it would be any bed, any Oran would be happy to have that style of bed. You know, other races might also, but it's very Oran-y just because of the wood, I think, and the green leafy bits. Okay, so this is, it's really dark, so it's hard to see, but it looks like the kitchen. A little gapped out there, you can kind of see it's kind of empty there, but let's see if we can figure out what all this stuff is in this dark lighting. That's probably why they've added so many sconces, trying to brighten it up. Otherwise it'd be just too dark. But let's just start over here. Some of the decoration for the cabinetry is again the Merg dynamite. Oh no, actually those are the bedposts from the, yeah. You can see the bed there. You see that? It's got the little acorns on it. So that must be the, I guess it's the Oran bed or just the regular wooden bed. Can't remember which comes with it. But that's what that is. I thought it was the Merc Dynamite, but no. It's the actual bed posts on one of the beds. The cabinets themselves looks to be lots of 2x4s and kind of like staircase landings for some of it. 2x4s there. Travel poster for the stovetop here. Red Moon vents for the burners. For the shelves, again 2x4s, but notice they've kept with that snow bit that was on the handles of the front doors. They've repeated it here. So again, that's another way of tying it in. They've brought it inside. The sink, I want to say that's the spout from the garden hose, and upside down file for the water, and looks like a bowl or some sort for the roundness of the interior of the sink. There's just lots of use of 2x4s and staircase landings. A lot of woodwork. That might be why it seems a little partially incomplete. They might have run out of space because that's just so much amazing detail there. I'd really love to see this better lit up so I can see it a little better. Got some glass cabinets here for dishes, food items, maybe your china, silverware, you know, the stuff you only bring out when the good company comes over. Again, look at all the 2x4s being used, just not only for the front framework, but for the shelving itself. Yeah, you can see the bedworks there. I think what they did was so that they could hide some of these things like the garden hose. They brought the kitchen interior a little closer in than normal because clearly they're not using all of the space that's actually here. Again, it's finding creative ways to kind of get around those thin walls that I stuck you guys with. But look, even just leaving the little supports underneath. These look like those, what is that, a bookcase cabinet? Maybe that's what that is. It's bed or bookcase, it's one of the two. Kind of hard to see. Let me look, let's see. Well, I don't know if I can do that on this one. I'll have to look some other time, but I think it's a bookcase now because this top doesn't look like something from a bed. But they've used a lot of them because there's one here, and there's one there, and then several here along the front. Yeah, well, I don't know if they'll be able to sort that out here because, you know, again, we don't use roofs necessarily for our roofs. We use floors. So, you know, how do you tell the game, okay, this floor is behaving as a roof, or this, I mean, we've had people use rugs as roofs, or, you know, things like that. I think it would be difficult. Plates as roofs. We've got plates being used as like the tops of gazebos, same with bowls and other types of things. So yeah, it looks like the bookcase. Over here you can see it a little better. It's got that little notch and then the thing. So that's the old bookcases there. There's at least like half a dozen or more there. But this here is just pure them using staircase landings and 2x4s and those little snow bits for the handles. Some amazing stuff. You know what this reminds me of? This looks something like you'd see in the cabin of a ship. It's what it is, so ornate looking. That's what it reminds me of. Oops. Okay, so here we have a custom table. It's one of those bug windows upside down on top of the tree table. You got the roots, but then it has a wooden top instead of that red top that comes with the table. Here's their bathroom. Again, they're repeating some of that. Look at it, you can see it a little better here. It's just 2x4s, the metal edged ones here for a lot of the drawers and things. Staircase landings here. Look at their little vanity mirror there. You can see a little hint of the Winterfest fence. A little bit here as well. Just some little ornate trim. A curtain for like a little cubby hole for like where you keep your toilet paper and stuff like that. Some cleaning materials. There you can see the Winterfest fence there as well for a little added decoration. So much detail and so poorly lit, but yeah, that's that bookcase there. You can see it much better in this light. Lots of 2x4s, just lots and lots. Looks like they're using, that's those 3 portraits, the trio, whatever it's called, and they're using the middle picture as a flower pot. They've got either a sandbag or an upside down barnacle weed as dirt, and then they've put in some habanero plants there. Using a colorful window for the shelf here. For the tub, it looks like those metal bowls, and then probably a glass or a bottle, wine bottle or something for the water there. Looks dark and creepy looking, really. Again, that rug, I think it's the bottom of, I don't know what it is. I still want to say it's the, I don't know, maybe this is the bed. No, it's the water because there's a faucet there. I guess this is the changing room, closet, shower, something. Trying to see what this is. I don't know if that's just there because it's sticking out here. I like how they managed to get this to do double work, the shelf on both sides. Maybe this was to be where the bathroom, the toilet would be, something like that, and they just didn't get to it. Yeah, I think the tiki roof is the only one that's actually designated as a roof. Possibly poi, but again, that might take some kind of special funky coding for them to work it out that way. Notice the hugel has lit up eyes, it's sconces again. Really cute little build. I mean, who wouldn't want to have a place like this? This looks cozy, private, you know, just a little, maybe it's a summer house. You know, it's not necessarily on the beach, but you got your own little waterway here. Very cute. Very lovely. Okay, so we're going to switch off the screen. We're still here, but I'm switching to Jabbit's side real quick. So bear with me. As we switch regions here. I've seen people use books as roofs. That's another item. I mean, I think they would just, I think it'd be impossible because if we only use the roofs that are actually designated as roofs to avoid getting rain in the house, then I think a lot of builders would feel that's too restrictive. Almost back in. Excuse me. Hey Zodi, glad you could join us. And yeah, your guys' places, everybody so far has been amazing. Okay, we are back. This time we are on, well, I probably should, let me switch to Dominion side because there's one there, and then we'll go back to Exile side. Let me hop on Melon. Because we only have one Dominion home out of everybody's, and that would be Poise, Mia Chua. Let's see. Spell that right? I hope so. Yeah, I'm sorry you didn't make it. I never know when people are going to be here, so it's hard to schedule. But I wanted to hit NA first because we only had a few. But this is Poise Plot on Mia Chua. Poi chose the Exiles version. Again, that's the favorite. The plot's called Cowboys and Aliens. Now, we're not going to be taking a look at all of it. We'll be checking that out later, I'm sure. We're just here for the modular house. So you can see they've taken a different approach. There's a couple of additional structures that kind of part of the concept. From what I understand, they didn't include the bathroom and such inside the house. They just built them as separate structures, but they kept within the 1700 limit with all of that included. So that was kind of nice. Yeah, we saw Mr. Crocky. Okay, so let's tackle the little outside structures first. I think that would be better. So we have the little outhouse here, which is disturbing because it has little smelly stuff coming up out of it. The structure itself is made out of granite pillars, staircase landings. For the handle, it's Merg dynamite. For the roof, it's just tiered up exile floors, mostly I think to match the outer covering of the little modular house itself. You can kind of see that it looks like the round wooden table for the lid to cover that, what do they call it, the yucky hole. I assume it's either a bubbling cauldron, one of the toxic barrels, or some such being used. I think it's the green toxic barrel because it's kind of greenish there and it's got that green smoke. Just inset, so it looks like a smelly bit. And then it looks like several exile tubes to make that a little thicker. Lots of 2x4s for the building. Little chimney up on top. Over here we have a little cookout pot. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. So it was a toxic barrel, okay. So for the little fire pit here, we've got Draken fences. It looks like the Falcon fire pit. It could be a different one, but I think that's what it is. For the little triangle bit here, the metal thing that the pot is hanging on, those are sparking wires. It's just the sparking end is stuck into the ground, so it's not flashing. It's a drake and cauldron for the pot. And I think it's a plate, the bottom of a plate. It could be layered glass as well to get it to look like it's filled with some kind of a fluid. And then, of course, hanging wires for the little hook and for the handle. Oh, is it heating the water for a bath? Oh, okay, right. The bathroom's out here too. That's right. So the interior of the actual modular house doesn't have the bathroom and the toilet and the bathroom. They're separated off. But like I said, Poi insisted that all of these pieces are within the 1700s. So it's not just this stuff here, it's including this as well. Again, basically the same construction as the outhouse. It's the exile floors, the 2x4s, the granite pillars, the staircase landings, and Merg dynamite. And here we have the Merg dynamite behaving as like the little supports for the bench. I like the little, I guess those are little sponges or soap thingies, little miniature pillows. For the tub itself, it's curved exile walls for the roundness, and I presume either domes or cylinders for the little sides there. And then just lots and lots of 2x4s. You guys just went nuts with those things. 2x4s out the wazoo. All right, Sea Root. Thanks for dropping by. Glad you could join us. So here we have the porch area. Again, 2x4s. And notice 2x4s for the fencing here and Merg dynamite. We really like that little dynamite piece. So, I don't know, it's the right kind of color. It's a little metalish, but not like shiny. It's kind of, a little dark and rusticer looking, but it has like that ornate look. Like gives some little decoration to the banisters rather than just using a straight up 2x4. I mean, you could have, but it looks nicer with that. I like that. I like the little water pump here. What is that? Looks like a Chua tank on the bottom. A couple of rain gutters sandwiched together. Got all those hooks and stuff. And what are those metal planks for the little switchy things? Little pump stuff. And then this is like a sparking wire. I'm trying to figure out what you use for the nozzle there. Looks like two metal planks, and I'm not sure about this for the little fountain. Maybe it's just part of the gutter. I'm not sure. Hey Kai. Yeah, this is WildStar, and this is WildStar's housing. This is a housing channel, so metal planks for the tap. What's for the little round thing on the end? I'm so curious. I'm fascinated with just this little thing here. And a ground light for the nozzle. Huh. Well, never would have guessed that. Okay, so for the doors, we have, wow, my games is like lagging a little bit. Again, staircase landings, they go really well with the 2x4 exile look, so those are going to be a favorite, I think, for most of our exile homes. Notice they doubled up on these a little bit. They got hammers to kind of attach it, to kind of bring those dynamite bits a little bit out so it's not like right up against the door. That's just an added detail that a lot of people just kind of bypass. They just stick it onto the door. Yeah, it does. I almost just assumed it was just a come as is piece. I thought maybe it was like um, a fab kit, like from the water well or something. Then I had to go, man, wait a minute, let's take a look at that because that's something different. Um, Added some little flower patches, of course, the stone paths and everything. And then they've actually added some, or decided to put in some NPCs to kind of liven it up a little bit. But just look at this. This is an open space. They didn't really give any walls. They've got a little bit of a sectional here so that, a divider, so it kind of makes it a little private straight from the door. But this is another approach. Some of us chose to divide up the space quite a bit. Others of us chose to leave it more open and feels more like a trailer house that way, I think. So I think I just always start with the bedroom. I don't know why, but let's start there. Window treatments. Basically, I think Poi left it with the single pane of glass and just topped it with, uh, here we have one of the beach blankets from the summer decor pack. Over there we have the lop towels from the boxing gym fab kit. And then over here it's the beach towels as well, but the rolled version. So it's like partial open, all the way open, and just a different one for the kitchen there. But yeah, this is amazing looking. Here's their closet. It's a little bit more open. Changing up the clothing, so it's not just the white drapes, but also the red ones. Even threw in some of the harder to get decor items for clothing, which is the bow tie and the folded shirt. I wish they'd give us some more clothes that are a little less hard to get to. Over here we have the bed and the built-in kind of like a built-in nightstand kind of thing. There's the headboard has just become part of the wall. Notice the curved wall, they've just mirrored that with this glass kind of flare for the bed. And the lighting just kind of lights it up, so it seems like it's a little glowy. The drawers are Tua shelves inset, so you don't see the brackets. And then the handles are the tops of the Merv Dynamite. Same thing used for the porch railing. Look at this lovely little, let me see if I can zoom in here. Lovely little clock. Look at all this, like little teensy weensy tiny exile floors for most of this. It looks like a tube or cylinder type thing for the main part of the clock. A plate inset to give the face of the clock. The tops of, I think it's the tall file for the little buttons, the little notches for the main hours of the clock. And spoons or forks or some other utensil for the handles. And then the little middle nubbin thing there is the top of the Merv Dynamite. How adorable is that, though? It's just a nice little detail that a lot of people don't think about adding to their bedrooms. They got in a little alarm clock. For the bed itself, it's here I'm like just running all over your stuff. It's the ice rock block, the cubes of ice snow bits for most of the bed covering, topped with pillows. Reminds me of the Red Moon one that I made. Because if you kind of just think the bottom one's in and leave these a little taller, it looks like a sheet that's been folded down. For the the decoration on the headboard, that's one of the picture frames. It's either the Lumini or the High Lord or something. They all had that very gilded up picture frame. And then for here, it's the Hugel portrait. Just several of them used to make this nice little design. Oh, are they? Well, I know you've been working on lots of different versions of the grandfather clock, so it's nice to see a different style. But I like that a lot. Very you know, it's not super item intensive, but it's cute. I like that one. Yeah, really. Okay, over here we have the little brush and mirror. A lot of people, I don't think, again, think about making these kind of things. I tried making a brush once when I did the Tangled themed plot, and it's kind of similar to what you did, but I like yours a lot more. It's the cheese platter with it turned upside down so you don't see the cheese, and then just lots of that, I guess it's the golden wheat or the little dry grass, tuft of grass. Just lots of those for the brush bits. For the mirror, it's a Merg Dynamite for the handle, a Hugel portrait for the frame, and then the glass is just, it looks like lots of those file bottoms for the glass. That's really cute. And it helps tie that in with this because of that golden little embellishment there. Over here we have a little quickie flower arrangement. It's just staircase landings filled in with lots of flowers. If you put in enough, you probably don't even have to have some kind of a dirt. You just kind of have it, it looks like it's like a potted plant. Here we have a lovely open hearth with a dual cabinet, glass cabinet. So there's this place for all these little collectibles. Notice the brightness of the glass. I'm sure that means that Poi used several layers. It also could be just the lighting that's been set behind there to cause it to be nice and bright. That's a great way to light it up and really showcase whatever collectibles you've included. I like the little hearth tools. You've got one, there's a handle for the little pitchfork thing that you'd like poke around to get the coals and stuff sorted. You've got the brush, which is a combination of the spade and it looks like 2x4s, metal edge blocks, and then more of that grass, similar to the hairbrush. And then you even have a little scooper thing, the thing that you brush it off into and then you dump it. It's a little scooper made out of, again, the spade and the cellar entrance. The fireplace itself, look at the complexity of that thing. That's a lot of Draken fences, of probably differing shapes. There's, looks like the curved one for this bit here. Who knows if it's the long or short versions, but look at all that. It's a really lovely little bit. It even has a mantle there. So much detail and just uniqueness. Looks like the Falcon fire pit there as well. The same one's being used for the outside to warm up the water. And of course the cabinet is repeated on this side. One's being used for the actual wood, the other is just for books and stuff. Very cute. Yeah, I thought it would be several layers because normally the glass is pretty, you really have to stare at it like in the corners to even notice there's a pane of glass unless you layer it up really good. But yeah, it looks great. For the chairs, look at these beauties. Just, it looks like basically some 2x4s. Actually, it might just be staircase landings all around. It's like 2 of them here, 2 of them here, 2, and then 1 for the back with some green pillows in there. How adorables are those? That's just, I just want to sit in it, but I won't. For the shelving here, again, that's just the Chua shelves, and then a window is being used as a little mirror kind of thing. For the kitchen table, we've got granite pillars. And now that's the way they look like columns. That's just taking two pillars and turning one of them at an odd angle and making them look a little bit more round than just having the square pillar shape. Yeah, it's pretty great looking, isn't it? Um, it looks like a staircase landing, and then it has a orange floor inset into that, just to give it a little different. Again, reminder, these are the towels that you get from the Boxing Gym Fab Kit. Same way with this one. I think this is actually the same towel, it's just turned around so you see the other picture. Wow, look at this kitchen. Let's see, cabinetry. Lots of staircase landings inset with the Oran floors to, again, set it apart. Good contrast of materials, so it makes it easier to see. When you have wood on wood on wood, it kind of gets a little bit lost, unless you have some really bright lighting to kind of help see all of those details. But if you can contrast it by using different types of materials like this, wood with what I would presume to be like stone or something, paneling or whatever, it helps that pop better. You see the handles more easily, where the cabinet doors are, that kind of stuff. So you've got the Merg Dynamite as most, if not all, the handles, I think. You've got Chua shelves, the same things used over here. They're just inset to make these little drawers here. Looks like granite pieces for the exhaust there for the oven. For the oven itself, it looks like 2x4s, maybe. This looks like a book, a couple of books. These look like the handles of the magnetized container. I see some hammers for, I mean, they went through the trouble. Boy, you're like so much into detail. Got the little hinges even for the door made out of hammers. That's just above and beyond, seriously. The teapot, yeah, that's very reminiscent of my teapot. I think you've changed it up a little bit, added a little bit more bowls. I think I only did like 3 for the spout. Can't remember. But it's the metal bowls for the teapot. Just lots and lots of metal bowls. And then Merg Dynamite for the handle. I used the fence for mine, so. Oh, is it a grate behind the books? Can't tell. It's hard to see. It looks more like a maintenance platform to me. Are you sure it's the grate? See, I'm asking you, and you're the one that built it. I'm like doubting what you think it is. That's funny. The little cabinets up here, 2x4s, layered glass. Notice how the layering is, these are unframed glass, that's why you get this little extra little doohickey here. But that's a nice way. Again, it brightens it up and it adds a little extra design there. You've got the loaf of bread, that's just a lot of the unburnt toast layered up together. The little canisters are just the, looks like the Merg explosives, I think is the word. I don't know if you've added a top to it or if it's just as is. It's hard to see. What's this thing here? Oh, that's clever. I like that. I think this is meant to be like the knife holder, right? Is that what that's supposed to be? These are like the knife handles that come out and then like the sharpener kind of thing. That's what it looks like. I'm guessing there, but I think that's it. Oh, is it really? Seriously? That doesn't look like it at all. And it's probably just the way you've covered it up. It looks delightful. So much stuff. But I'm guessing that's supposed to look like the knives. This countertop here is travel posters, I think. The sink looks like trying to see, it's either glass or they might have went ahead and used one of those. I want to say it's glass, just several layers of glass for the water. I don't know what I know these are arches, but either a bowl or a dome or something for the basin. For the dry rack, I think it's just a staircase being used, laying on its side. What in the world is this? Is this there's some floating cheese there. Is this the fridge? I think this is the fridge. Little pop top. Basically, again, the staircase landings, inset with the it's like the cheese is trying to hop out. But it looks like some of the new ice decor, the ones you get from Arcterra. I think I've only gotten one of those. At first I thought it was a washing machine, but then I saw the food and it's like, no, that's not a washing machine. Yeah, an ice box. So just layers of the staircase landings, and then of course it looks like the handles of the oh, what was those? The magnetized containers. There we go. I know what I'm talking about. And here is the Merg Dynamite ones. Just, I mean, look at the curtain rods. This Merg Dynamite there. Just a super fun build. I mean, all of these places, I would love to come and visit. I'm going to have to claim them all as my summer homes. Excited to see what all you do with the rest of the build. I know you've been kind of holding off because you hit the cap and there's more that you'd like to add, so we'll have to come back and visit for sure. Definitely, because I need some more Dominion side on Jabbit that's building. I'm just running out of stuff. But yeah, fun stuff, you guys. It's been amazing so far. So let me switch over to Exile side. Welcome back, Bones. Just in time for like the whole long session of stuff we have on Exile side.